All right, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're logging in from. This is our Saturday International presentation. We are less than 1 week away from our next reset. So this presentation, we'll be keeping this short and sweet and give you enough information to make an informed, intelligent decision, getting us prepared for next week. And then I'll let you go to enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. But we are an international company. We've got people all over the place as logging on, so we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule for being here. My name is Brandon Ivy from Los Angeles, California. And as a disclaimer, I am not the CEO of the company. I am not a co-owner of the company. I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I'm simply one of you. A good friend of mine gave me a call and said, Brandon, we are putting together a company that is up your field of expertise, cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And we don't talk too much about that. We will be starting soon, because another thing that's happening in a very short period of time, like next week, is the Bitcoin halving. And everything that I do is geared towards receiving as much resources as possible to take advantage of the greatest financial revolution the world has ever seen with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not, whether it's on your radar screen or not. When I retired from the network marketing space 3 years ago and I got into the cryptocurrency space, I realized two main things. Number one, that blockchain technology is going to disrupt every single industry on the planet today. Nothing's going to be left out. And number two, that cryptocurrency represents the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind for the most amount of people. And that part is key, the most amount of people. There have been other shifts in wealth before, but not everybody had an opportunity to participate in those shifts of wealth. This time around, it doesn't matter who you are, where you were born, what language you speak, the color of your skin, the sex you are, racism, sexism, nepotism, none of that matters. All you need is access to a cell phone, the internet, and a willingness to learn. And if you have those three things, there's no glass ceiling, nothing can hold you back. And this is a time period that is never going to happen again. That is my field of expertise. So they came to me about Up2Give, saying we are going to be in your field of expertise, but our focus is going to be on education, philanthropy, and charity. Now, how can you go wrong with philanthropy and charity? Well, I said, but tell me more, because it took me a couple of weeks to really understand it, and they have a model of let's be different. So here's how. At Up2Give, we have a strong moral, integral, and purpose-driven vision to change lives around the world through our ecosystem. We're standing on 4 pillars: philanthropy. We are focused on creating a culture of worldwide giving. Education. Reward those who give while teaching them the value behind growing personally. Banking. Bank the unbanked through our giving. And personal causes. Create a social revolution of stories with people whose needs have been met through the Up2Give community. We have built a model where people from around the world can come together, get educated, banked, and skilled on the principles of philanthropy and EQ, emotional intelligence, while creating a culture of global giving. During the education process, we will be teaching members how to utilize one of our tools for contributing called the Giving Box. This will allow us to fulfill the purpose of our core principles, as well as help contribute to the stories being shared in our community to engage the social revolution part of our culture. Here are some examples of our target areas of focus. Education. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development found that 50% of U.S. adults can't read a book written at an 8th grade level. Lack of formal education results in lower earning power and serious threats to an individual's long-term well-being. Banking. Globally, about 1.7 billion adults remain unbanked without an account at a financial institution or through a mobile money provider. Health. Currently, nearly 1 billion people spend 10% of their household income or more on health expenses for themselves, a sick child, or another family member. In fact, there's some 3.8 billion people around the globe that lack access to basic health care, and we're seeing this live and in color because of coronavirus. And housing. Currently, over 850 million people, more than the populations of the U.S. and the European Union combined, are living in informal settlements. So what is our ultimate goal? It's simply to empower you and people around the world to contribute toward anyone's cause in our ecosystem, whether it is to help achieve a goal that helps someone in your family, your church, your country, your community. It doesn't matter how big or small that vision or mission is. We will bring the nations together to help support those causes, and with our model being a model of philanthropy, we are confident that the Up2Give family will be there for you. Up2Give is a global correlation movement. So let's talk about one of the pillars that we're standing on, education, and how does someone get educated in our ecosystem? Well, we partner with a company called Success Training Institute. This institute offers cutting-edge soft skills training and audio and video format on topics like leadership, customer service, professional development, personal development, sales, team building, HR management, management training, and much, much more. In fact, you can even get certified by taking additional courses that's going to help you to improve your skills as far as how to improve your brand, self-discipline, understanding goal setting and time management, maintaining focus, self-regulation and awareness, empathy. We're all practicing social distancing, so how about learning the skills of social skills mastery? You see, as I started to come up and became an entrepreneur, my mentors taught me something. And it said that success leaves clues. That's why it's called Success Training Institute. These are soft skills that are not taught in school. I learned because of my father, and I invested more than 6 figures in my career in personal development and improvement. And once you learn these skills, they will benefit you in anything that you do. The value that Success Training Institute offers is priceless. It offers soft skills training designed for individuals, companies, and entrepreneurs. Here you can improve your skills in less than 10 minutes per day. Another pillar that we're standing on is the banking industry. 1.7 billion people around the world are currently unbanked, and if you don't have access to a bank account, you don't have access to getting a line of credit, having a savings or checking account, being able to get a personal or business loan to start a business so you can pass down wealth to your family. We partner with a company called Ooh La La that wants to help you join the future of banking. Be the first to send and receive money for a fraction of the cost. Access microcredit offers from your favorite retailers, pay bills with ease, build credit, enjoy online shopping, and take charge of your financial future with our exclusive Ooh La La partnership without the need of having a bank account. Ooh La La is a full-service financial solution designed to empower communities. With Ooh La La, it's going to help you to facilitate and accelerate financial inclusion with our blockchain-powered platform and app. Build a global credit score, access virtual and physical payment cards, secure transactions, personalized offers, bill payments, and more. And we also have microcredit offers for the unbanked and underbanked community to help them build their credit history. Ooh La La's mission is to offer inexpensive financial services to this demographic to help them establish a credit score, which will enable them to participate in the formal financial economy. Another pillar we're standing on is personal causes, and this is what Up2Give is all about. We want to create a social revolution of stories with people whose needs have been met through the Up2Give community, and we currently have more than 35,000 causes and growing. So what is your story? What is your cause? What do you need a little bit of help with? And it could be anything from, hey, I'm just trying to get myself out of debt. Or I want to be able to pay my bills, my mortgage, my rent, put my kids through school. I've got medical bills for myself or family members. I want to help save the wells, save the homeless. I might be part of a church organization because of social distancing. Members are not allowed to attend church on Sundays, which means that's going to have a direct impact in donations and tithing and giving. I want to be able to help that out. It doesn't matter what your cause is. It's your cause. Here's an example of one. Providing safe shelter to homeless and abused women and children in crisis. So when you have your cause, you'll have access to a blog like this where you can upload a picture and have a description of what the cause is all about. Here's another one. Breast cancer research saves lives, and research is the reason. So when somebody comes to this site, whether by you sharing it with them or somebody stumbling across it on Up2Give's homepage, they're going to have an option to help to contribute to your cause. They'll also be given the option to join the community and create a cause of their own that they can receive contributions for. So how does someone get started? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to set up an account at the Up2Give.com. You're going to pay $32 a month that goes towards the membership for Success Training Institute. And by the way, that is more than half off regular price. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to contribute to personal causes like the one I just shared in the community, 0.005 Bitcoin. That's about $50 US. If Bitcoin is right at 10,000, and we're, what is it, 9,700 right now? So we're talking about $50 US. And the third thing you're going to do is you're going to write your own story, share it with 2 people who join the community with you. If you can do these 3 steps, you're going to have a lot of success with Up2Give. Let's talk about the sign-up process and experience. Let's say you're Maria in California. She shares a link with John, and John is in London. The moment John clicks on her link, the first thing he will see is her story. Once John reads her story, he will see the option to contribute in the website sidebar, where it shows 2 options. Option 1, join the community. Option 2, support Maria's cause. Once John has clicked to join, the system will take him to the registration page where he can add his basic information. Now here's John's experience. John now has 14 days free in the Up2Give community. What does this mean? John has the opportunity to experience our back office and ecosystem. John can take the sample courses we have available on our Up2Give Academy portal, powered by Success Training Institute. John has enough time to decide to become a member or simply contribute to Maria's cause, because you have the option to simply contribute and not join the community. Now let's assume that John decides to join Maria's journey. John has before the 14th day midnight to pay a $32 member fee in Bitcoin for the activation of his Up2Give Academy. He'll be able to have a story page like the one we showed, have a user link to share, and the moment he contributes to Up2Give causes during that same period of time, he becomes a ground zero member of the Giving Box. Now, the more people who contribute to each other, the more we will contribute back as well in the Giving Box, and the contributing happens in stages. So when you complete stage 3, Up2Give is going to give you a debit card so that you can start to monetize the Bitcoin you've been given through our ecosystem. With this step of philanthropy, we will start to help change the banking crisis in the world, where so many people lack the opportunity to own a debit card. Also, we'll make the service available for purchase if you choose not to wait to receive it for free for a small setup fee. And this is our partnership with Ooh-La-La. When you complete stage 4, you'll have the option of choosing from 12 different cause-driven programs. Once you have made the choice, you will follow the steps given in your back office, and a liaison will be assigned to you, and you will work for about 45 days to create a story out of that cause, which we will go viral with it. This is separate from your cause. For example, one of my causes, and you can change it up all the time, is I have a cousin named Robert Smith. And Robert is my big cousin. He's a former NBA basketball player, UNLV Running Rebels legend. He's the voice of the UNLV broadcast team. And he had a major stroke last year. And it was so bad that the doctors had declared the left side of his brain dead. No real hope for recovery. Just a few weeks ago, his sons have him up out of the wheelchair walking. Talk about a miracle. But it didn't happen overnight. It was a long road to recovery, and he still has a long way to go. And that can be expensive. But he's my inspiration. And so I'm going to be using this as one of the causes for him, because Up2Give will contribute on your behalf for reaching stage 4 a maximum of $1,500 to that cause, fulfilling our social revolution part of our 4 pillars. And it doesn't always have to be that, because another one I'm going to be using is for my grandmothers. You know, my grandmothers, both of them are suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia. And one has behavioral issues as well that can, you know, we get phone calls saying she's not either taking the medicine, she thinks they're poisoning her, she hit the staffer, and that if she doesn't get under control, you know, they might have to move to a different facility, and those things are expensive. So those are the type of causes that I will be using for stage 4. Stage 5. When you complete stage 5, Up2Give is going to reward you with an all-expense-paid trip to a recognition event where top speakers from around the world are going to come to teach about leadership, philanthropy, finance, personal development, and charitable causes. And when you complete stage 6, Up2Give is going to require you to give 12.5% back to the community and the ecosystem. What does that mean, giving 12.5% back? See, right now, we are not trying to have a whole bunch of people see how much money you can make. What Up2Give is all about is about creating a community of philanthropists. And there's a lot of people out there that wish they could be philanthropists. They just don't have the resources for it. Up2Give is here to help you receive those resources so that you can do so. Now, how does Up2Give strive to be compliant? Well, number one, Up2Give does not touch the Bitcoin of anybody. How many times have you seen companies out there that say, give us all your Bitcoin. You can't withdraw it for 8 months to a year, but we're going to trade it on your behalf. You don't have to do anything. And we guarantee you're going to make 1 to 2% a day on your money. How many times have you heard that? Sounds good. You're hearing stories on Facebook of other people making money. By the time you get involved, the owners run off with everybody's Bitcoin before you have a chance to withdraw. I know you're tired of those scams out there. You want something legitimate. Up2Give is not here to be built for a 6-month being. This is to be a long-term business. We follow all the laws, legal compliance as possible. The giving is peer-to-peer. Up2Give does not get any Bitcoin. There is no compensation plan in Up2Give. What does peer-to-peer mean? Have you ever gotten into an Uber or a Lyft before? That vehicle is not owned by a taxi company. It's owned by somebody else. Have you ever stayed in an Airbnb? That hotel is not owned by that property is not owned by a hotel chain. It's owned by somebody else. See, we're again taking advantage of the greatest financial revolution the world has ever seen with cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Why? For 3 reasons. Number one, it is decentralized. It is not controlled by a bank, a government, a CEO, or a business. It belongs to the people. It's open source. Number two, it is universal in value. There are no borders. 1 Bitcoin in Australia is worth 1 Bitcoin in South Africa. It's universal all around the world. And number 3, it is permissionless. You don't need a bank, Western Union, or a bank wire transfer to send Bitcoin to anybody. There's no limit on how much you can send. It's as easy as sending an email, and the small minimum fee in the transaction is almost instant. Number 2, Up2Give is a major contributor in collective causes. Besides that, the only thing Up2Give gets is $32 a month for your membership to Success Training Institute, and that's not even commissionable. And number 3, Up2Give is a giving model that even for nonprofit identities such as churches, is presented as a revolution of offerings in the ministry. The more they give each other, the more they receive. So what do you receive for the $32 a month? An entire ecosystem that will allow you to share your story to the world through our up2give.com blog. Access to our global education community at the Up2Give Academy, powered by Success Training Institute. Access to the Giving Box, which allows you to be part of our community blog and social revolution stories that are inspired by the members' philanthropical culture and cause-driven movement. And rewards for giving back to those community and their causes, which allows Up2Give to partner with you and create stories of our own when you start reaching stage 4 and above. So how does the contributing work? Let's talk about the Giving Box. It is a voluntary tool designed so that you can increase your resources. That's the key right there. It is designed so that you can increase your resources to help more causes and at the same time improve the lives of those who participate. We have something very unique called the Global Community Line. This is not a 2x6 matrix. This is not a binary or a unilevel, just one community line. There's no such thing as my team and your team. We're all on the same team. So you pay your $32 at Up2Give. You're going to contribute to personal causes, $50 worth of Bitcoin. This is going to enter you in what we call ground zero. And then the next thing you're going to do is share with 2 people who also contribute $50 worth of Bitcoin as well. Anybody that enters ground zero after you do will be in your global community line. So at this point, you definitely want to share with 2 people as soon as possible to move out of ground zero to get into stage 1. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's what's going to happen. On ground zero, you contributed $50. You share it with two people who contributed $50, you're going to receive $100. But you're not going to keep that $100. Your point here is to receive as much resources as possible to your personal cause. Well, $100 is not going to do it. You're going to contribute that $100 back to the community ecosystem, which means you're contributing to more causes in the community. This moves you to stage one. Stage one, you're qualified to receive up to $200 worth of Bitcoin. You're going to contribute half of that back. You get to keep $100. Stage two, you're qualified to receive up to $400 worth of Bitcoin. You're going to contribute half of that back, which means you keep $200. You've received $300. You're keeping $300 at this point. Stage three, you're qualified to receive up to $1,600 with the Bitcoin. You're going to contribute less than half of that back, 0.05. So you're keeping $1,100. Stage four, you're qualified to receive up to $8,000 worth of Bitcoin. You're going to contribute 0.25 of that back. You get to keep $5,500. Now let's stop right there for a second. Let me remind you that the only thing that you personally needed to do was share with two individuals on ground zero who each contributed $50 each. That qualified you to move to stage one. Now, the global community line is what will push you through the rest. But just through stage four, you're now talking about $6,900 worth of Bitcoin. $6,900 worth of Bitcoin. How powerful is that? That's more than $3,400 on a monthly basis by the system resetting every 60 days. That's a full-time income for a lot of people. This can literally change lives, especially in this environment. Stage five, you're qualified to receive up to 8 Bitcoin. There's a big jump between stage 4 and stage 5, but you're still going to contribute back. But now you're contributing 1 whole Bitcoin, so you keep 7. Stage 6, you can qualify to receive up to 64. You're going to contribute 12.5% back, so you keep 56 Bitcoin. But the qualification now means you got to do a little bit more work. So those 2 individuals that you helped to share on ground zero, you need to help 2 receive all contributions from stage 3 and 1 that contributes to stage 4. You're qualified for stage 5. For stage 6, you need to have 1 individual receive all contributions on stage 4 and 1 that's contributed to stage 5. And now you're qualified for stage 6. Now, as impressive as 56 Bitcoin is, what's more impressive to me is what Jerry's dream was all about. And Jerry is the CEO of the company, creating a community of philanthropists. Because how great would it be walking around saying, you know, you contribute more than $50,000 to philanthropy and charitable causes. Most people would love to be able to give back to charities. They just don't barely have enough to survive themselves. The entire point is to generate the resources necessary so that you can be a philanthropist. Now let's talk about the global community line. You personally need 2 on ground zero to move to stage 1. But from this point forward, the community takes over and does the rest. So whoever gets to stage 1 first, anyone that gets there after you will help you qualify to receive all contributions on every stage. So you need 40 to be qualified to receive up to all contributions on stage 1, 80 on stage 2, 160 on stage 3, 320 on stage 4, 640 on stage 5, and 1,024 on stage 6. Now let's recap how it all happens. You paid $32 in Bitcoin. You contributed $50 to Up2Give causes. You share with 2 people who did the same exact thing, and you receive Bitcoin toward your causes and purpose. And that is the presentation, ladies and gentlemen. That is it. Now, there's 2 types of people who, after seeing this presentation, they've got 2 choices to make. The first type of person says, Brandon, I'm in. Where do I sign up? Great, because guess what? 1 week from now, we're going through our next reset. That is where, as far as I'm concerned, the beginning of the company. Because we've been at this now for a couple of months, and we've been perfecting it along the way. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about that after this. And we got to the point now where a lot of you are going to start to really see the benefits of the enhancements that we've made starting on May 15th. That day couldn't have come fast enough for me. The second type of person says, you know what, Brandon, this is not for me. And that's okay. It's not for everybody. Can't please everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule for being here. But do us a favor. Get back to the person who invited you. Ask them to see their cause, so you can see what their story is and why they're doing what they're doing, and help them out and contribute to their cause. They thought enough of you to invite you to see something that could possibly be a plan B for you. You say it's not for you, great, at least help them out on their plan B. But also, I request that you do find a plan B. You say, oh, Brad, I don't need a plan B. That's not true anymore. You see, under the best of circumstances, and this is Saturday, what I would normally say is most people are going to enjoy the rest of their weekend. It's their break away from the job. Sunday night, they're going to get wind down and get prepared for the new week. They're going to wake up before the sun comes up on Monday, rush off to rush hour traffic, to go to a job they don't like, to work with people they can't stand, to eat lunch at 12 when they're hungry at 11, to ask for permission to go to the bathroom as if they are a child, knowing they're not going to get a raise or a Christmas bonus if they're lucky enough to have the same job for the rest of their life without getting fired, laid off, or furloughed. The government says 97% of all, well, this is in America, will retire broke depending on family, government, and friends by the age of 65. 97%. 2008 wiped out 401ks and savings and pensions and IRAs. People lost their jobs. They're still trying to recover today. The only people that got bailed out were businesses that were too big to fail. Did you get bailed out during that time? More than 10 years later, and people are still trying to recover from that. And those were the best of times, because we live in a new world today. Coronavirus has flipped the table and said, there's a new world. In the United States, and I can't just speak for the United States because this is global pandemic. Just to stay safe, we've got to stay home. Most people are already living paycheck to paycheck. So if you're staying home, you're not receiving enough to pay your bills. The bills and food does not care that coronavirus is here. They still need to be paid. But if you're considered what's called an essential worker, and God bless all the essential workers, and some of you may be essential workers, doctors, nurses, police officers and fire department, public servants, bus drivers, postal workers, the people that work at the clerks at your grocery stores, they're told to go to work and put their health and their family's health at risk just so that they can get their paycheck. So you're caught between a rock and a hard place. Do I stay home and not get paid, or do I go to work, get paid, and maybe get sick? The only recourse is maybe a government stimulus. One time. That's not even enough anyway. This past week, we had the most single unemployment recorded day in American history. By the end of the month, they're talking about us having more unemployed than the Great Depression. This is the new world, and we don't even know how long this is going to last. The Spanish flu lasted 18 months, and the world was not as close as it is today. That lasted 18 months. So what you have to do is have a plan B, because there is a third option. Not just stay at home and not get a paycheck or go to work and get sick. A plan B, meaning find a way to receive resources from home. Millions of people have already been doing it. I've been blessed to be able to do it for 8 years. I retired at the age of 36 years old from corporate America, and I work full-time from home. And if others can do it, so can you. So if not Up2Give, then please find something else. Have a plan B. As a disclaimer, this is a brand new opportunity with minimum data. There are no income claims allowed. And your success depends on you. Now, I'm going to highlight for this Saturday our disclaimers. This is going to be our training as we get prepared for what's going to happen next week. So let's talk about, this is a new opportunity. When Up2Give says, let's be different, they are doing something that has never been done before. And when you put something down on paper, it is strictly theory until you have what's called proof of work. You go through a pre-launch, you go through a soft launch, you collect the data, and you make the necessary adjustments that may be made. There are some things that can take place that you cannot foresee because you're dealing with people, and people can be strange characters. People don't always do or use something the way you designed it to be used. I'll use Bitcoin as an example. The Bitcoin white paper was written in such a way that Bitcoin was going to become the new universal form of money as an alternative to the cash in your pocket, depending on the country you're in. That's what the design was. A totally immutable, open source program that can never be manipulated or changed or hacked, based on math, not philosophy or politics. Inflation proof. However, the people decided to use Bitcoin in a different form. And Bitcoin is more being used as a store of value, like digital gold, rather than used to go buy milk at the grocery store. So ultimately, Bitcoin is going to be that store of value with 21 million coins that ever in existence. Those who own Bitcoin will be in the new echelon of the wealthy in the future globally. Digital gold. That's not what it was designed for, but that is how people are using it. Same thing happened with Up2Give. The people decided how they were going to use it in a certain way. So the company made the necessary adjustments. And every adjustment that has been made has been in the benefit of all of you. It's gotten better and better and better. The only hiccup is the fact that we did not reset on April 15th. That's the only hiccup for 90% of you that's here right now that's not new. That correction will be made on May 15th, which is next Friday, which we are all gearing and ready for. The global community line is new. You guys are at the beginning of this. It moves as fast as all of you move. I want to manage your expectations for a second. Just because you shared it with 2, don't expect that you're all of a sudden going to make 64 Bitcoin because all you had to do was share it with 2 people. This is a community effort. I'm personally going to share with more than 500. I want to build a personal team of more than 50,000 to 100,000 on top of the global community line. I want to help build the global community line. And that's not going to happen overnight. We are blessed to have had more than 40,000 people come through our door, more than 14,000 that's active right now. That's great, but that's just the beginning. So as blessed as you are to be here at the beginning, there's also responsibility that comes with it. And that is to help build it. You want things to move faster, then we need to build it so that it can move faster. The only thing that's outside of our control is how fast the blockchain itself moves. But I'm here to tell you what you see from Up2Give is still so early on. You're only at about 70%, maybe not even that, 60, 65% of what it will be at 100% operating capacity. The next 45 days, you're going to see a lot that you have not seen yet. Everybody's right now has been focused on the giving box, getting through your stages and looking for your contributions. But you're missing the big picture. And you're going to be seeing that very, very soon. Right now, our focus is on the reset on May 15th, getting everybody ready for that to move forward. We do not allow income claims, period. Again, we are not running some scam operation where we need to go out there and hype everybody out and say, oh, that guy's making 64 Bitcoin. If you join, you're going to make it next week. That's not what we're about. We are building this for the long term, years. We want you to be able to go to sleep at night, and when you wake up tomorrow, know that the company is still here. So we will not allow members to go out there and market in such a way that's going to be seen negative in the eyes of the authorities. We have legal representation. We are registered in the United States as a corporation. We don't do anything without the approval of our legal team. We have compliance. We will not hesitate to shut somebody's account down for doing anything out of compliance. Our focus is not on how much somebody is making, but on the vision and the charity and the philanthropy of what we are giving back with the resources that we're receiving. We're building a team of philanthropists here. And your success does depend on you. Even though this is a business designed for charities and philanthropy, we are not building a business as welfare. Each of you have a responsibility to help to build the global community line, not ride it. And if you're not willing to do that, you are in the wrong place. If you have the idea that I'm going to become rich and earn a full-time income just because I shared it with two and I sit on my butt and do absolutely nothing, you're in the wrong place. Is that possible? Yes. Will that happen overnight? No. The numbers are the numbers. 1 + 1 cannot equal 3. You know why I got so excited when I first saw this under the original plan? The original plan was built in such a way that I needed to have a personal organization of more than 8,000 people personally, not meaning that I signed up, meaning my own organization. And I was saying, where do I sign up? Why? Because I didn't know any other opportunity out there that allowed you to have a team of less than 10,000 people to receive more than $500,000 a month in contributions. I've had teams of more than 100,000. I was in. Where do I sign up? We have taken all of those restrictions away. We're now, as a global community effort, and you doing your part for completing all the stages, you sharing with two, who share with two, who share with two. And you're personally qualified, but it doesn't just stop right there. But you help to continue to build, and as that community, global community line grows, you end up helping everybody. And by helping everybody, you end up helping yourself because you have more people going through the stages. That's going to benefit you, whether they're on your team and organization or somebody else's. So our entire focus is getting people out of ground zero. That's the only thing you got to focus on, getting people out of ground zero. Everything else will take care of itself. So I'm curious to see how this runs after May 15th. Now, tomorrow's the 10th. So when the 10th rolls around, anybody that joins and they pay their $32 on the 10th will be qualified for the whole month throughout May and June, until June 15th. Now the 0.005 contribution, you want to do that on the 15th when the system resets. Also understand, the system resets Pacific Standard Time, midnight on the 15th. So if you're in Europe, South Africa, Nigeria, Understand the time difference. Some places that's 8 to 9 hours. So if it's midnight in California time, then that's 9 a.m. or so, 8 to 9 a.m. in London and Nigeria, South Africa. And then there are times, because we are dealing with programmers that are also looking at how the programming is working. Are there any glitches? What's the blockchain doing? And sometimes they may not reset it exactly at midnight. They may end up resetting it 8 or 9 hours later throughout the day, which for some of you, depending on what part of the world you're in, is now putting you closer to the 16th. So you want to just keep your eye on the back office. There will be information this week exactly how the 15th is going to roll out. I don't have that information today, but you'll hear directly from corporate on that to be prepared for the 15th. And the founders' positions are time-stamped in, those of you that are founders, before everybody else. That is your benefit of being a founder. And I can't stress enough how important that is. Tomorrow we are having our team training, and that will be, or not team training, I'm sorry, leadership call. That will be at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. And there tomorrow, after highlighting all the new members and the recognition, one thing I'm going to focus on is what about all those people that might have got started with us and they're no longer here with us now, or they don't understand what's going on. What do we say to them? You know, they feel that there's changes that's being made. Understand again that everything that happens is enhancements to what we have as we continue to collect data. Can there be more enhancements to the Giving Box? I guarantee you there'll probably be more enhancements to the Giving Box than what it currently is now, to improve on it, to make it better for all of you. That's one thing I can guarantee. And that's always a good thing. The whole point and goal is to put as much resources towards your causes as possible. And every time we've done this, we've seen more advancements happening. We have record people joining the company, record people going through the stages. And that May 15th reset clears the table. And you're going to see people that's receiving contributions that never have before and never received anything in their lives before. It can be game-changing, especially what's going on with the world today. But we all still must do our part. We also must manage our expectations. This is not get rich quick. The moment you start hearing that, you know something's wrong. I'm not a hype guy. If you're not willing to work, you're not going to get far. So that is it and all I wanted to share for today. Because we're so close to the reset, I don't want to entertain 1,000,001 questions about what's taking place right now when it's going to be irrelevant in the next 5 days. Our only focus is on helping as many people as possible get out of the ground zero, get our teams prepared for the reset, make sure you have enough Bitcoin in your Bitcoin wallet to pay the $32 and the 0.005. Nobody should be in a situation where they don't have that. And also, the system is going to be implementing what something's called automatic, whether it's stage 2 or stage 3. What that means is you do a manual contribution on ground zero, manual contribution on stage 1, maybe a manual contribution on stage 2, but after that, everything is going to be happening automatically. So all you're just going to receive or see is what you receive in your wallet, and the system will automatically kick you up to the next stage. This is going to solve another major issue. And that issue is the system was designed to allow you to move up to another stage before you've received all your contributions from the previous stage. Now, what I always have been sharing and training publicly, do not contribute to the next stage until you've received all your contributions from the previous stage. Why? Because the point is for you never to be out of pocket more than once. Why would the system allow you to move to the next stage? Because we recognized early on that there are some people that are able to move faster and produce more than others. And in an effort so that you don't get skipped by individuals in your organization, the system allows you to, once you've received a certain percentage of contributions, to go ahead and contribute to move up to the next stage. In theory, this works perfectly. In practice, we didn't do an April 15th reset, so it did not work as designed had we done a reset. And it slowed a lot of things down. That, again, will be rectified after May 15th. And also with the system doing the automatic contributions as well, we should never be in a situation where people say, oh, we're going to reset and I don't have enough funds to contribute to ground zero. What? You're on stage 2 and 3, but you don't have enough funds to contribute to ground zero. You did something wrong there. Or we were victims of the current circumstances. Not that you actually did anything wrong, you just jumped the gun on contributing to the next stage and hadn't received all contributions from the previous one. And that's not because the system's broken, that's because we just didn't have the people to go through to be able to contribute for all of those above. That's where it comes back to the global community. And again, that is being rectified on May 15th. So with that, I hope you guys learned something new. We should have thousands of people on these presentations. We've got enough people in the company. But I understand one human nature and human fact. When people see Bitcoin hitting their wallets, they become the biggest cheerleaders. But the people who receive the most, the people who succeed the most, are those who are always consistent regardless of what might currently be happening that's outside of their control. That's what business owners and leaders do. They understand things don't always go 100% as planned. You keep your head down, you keep pushing forward, you keep working, you keep grinding. It's like watering a plant. That tree doesn't grow overnight. You don't see the results immediately. But when you do, they flood in. So congratulations to those of you that haven't been the worry bees or the complainer bees. You've been putting your head down, you've been sticking with the program, you've been working. You're going to be rewarded the most. So thank you, everybody. I am doing this presentation again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. It will be much shorter. It will only be anywhere between 16 to 20 minutes long, depending on how inspired I get. And all you have to do is invite. You want your 2? Invite 10. You'll have 2 that will sign up. You want your 2? Invite 10. See you all tonight and tomorrow on the leadership call. And let's get ready for an exciting week as we start running up to the 15th. Stay safe. Keep your family safe. And let's help change the world. Brandon, I be out. God bless. Bye-bye.